Now, I've been saying for quite some time that Donald Trump is nowhere near as rich as he pretends to be. In fact, I believe I was the first one who started calling him the supposed billionaire Donald Trump, because nothing really proves that he's a billionaire at all. I'm not talking about 10 billion, which he claims, which is laughable, as you're about to see, not remotely true, right? But even Fortune and some of the others that have looked at his fortune, say the Fortune magazine looked at his wealth and said, well, if you give him every benefit of the doubt, he comes out to somewhere in the ballpark of 3 billion. Why would you give him every benefit of the doubt? The guy's a serial and proven liar. He'll lie within the same sentence. He'll switch his position. So no, I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And now finally others are going, hey, you know what? Maybe he's actually not that rich. To which I say, of course, of course. The guy went through 4 different bankruptcies. It's hard to come out a billionaire on the other side of a bankruptcy. So now those were for his businesses and they weren't personal bankruptcies, but 4 business bankruptcies, that'll hurt you, okay? So now let's dive into this story from Politico. They explain in the beginning, Donald Trump claims a net worth of more than $10 billion and an income of $557 million, but he appears to get there only by overvaluing properties and ignoring his expenses. First of all, how funny is that? Even if you, again, give him every benefit of the doubt, can you imagine I came out here, I'm worth $10 billion. I mean, my expenses are $11 billion, so I'm $1 billion in the hole, but I'm worth $10 billion. No, that means you're not worth $10 billion. Of course you have to take into account expenses. What kind of a businessman doesn't understand that? Now, you'll see as we get into the breakdown here, the other comical parts of this. They explain Trump attributes the refusal of releasing his tax returns to ongoing audits, but there is no prohibition on individuals releasing returns under scrutiny by the IRS. The refusal has led to rampant speculation among Wall Street executives who have done deals with Trump that his returns would show surprisingly low income. Wouldn't be surprising to me, but I'm going to give you some quotes from some of those other Wall Street executives in a minute. They have it in the article as well. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. The financial disclosure form lists assets worth at least $1.5 billion, but the ranges included are far too wide for an observer to determine anything close to a precise figure. So let's break that down, because there's 2 things in there. He's got assets that are in the range of $1.5 billion. And they give these huge ranges. So it could be much lower than that. It could be $500,000, $750 million, or $500 million, I should say, right? All the way up to 1.5. Second of all, that's nowhere near $10 billion. Now, how does he get to the rest? Well, a lot of it is, my brand name's worth a lot. It's worth billions. Who made that decision? I did. Now, his brand name is worth something. That's true. That is a business reality, right? Because the main way that Donald Trump makes money is by selling his name. He doesn't build anything. People don't trust him to give him money because his businesses have gone bankrupt so many times. If he says, I'm building a building, the bankers go, good one, Donald, good one. You're not building a goddamn thing. We wouldn't give you a loan to do that, right? Now, he can build golf courses, which are relatively small. I'll explain that in a second as well. But no, what he does is, okay, so, you're a competent business person. You can actually build a building. Great. You build it, and I'll sell you my name, and you could call it Trump Tower, even though I don't own it. I didn't build it, and I'll charge you $20 million for that. So his brand name was worth something. By the way, it might be worth a lot less now that he's insulted half the world, right? And half the world's population says we would not do a business deal with him under any circumstances. Okay, but obviously that is very ephemeral. So at most, in terms of his assets, he only has a $1.5 billion, giving him every benefit of the doubt. Now, there are some other things that are also real, but overall, your assets are the most real. Okay, so now let's get into more details. Steve Stanganelli, who is a financial planner, quoted in this piece, says, and he appears to be reporting gross revenue. There's a huge difference between that and net income. What really matters is what you put in the bank. So when he comes out and says, I got all this money, I got my assets, and then on top of that, I have $500 million here. And then you go, okay, but what's your expenses? I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm counting that as my money. Preposterous. No business person would ever actually say, I'm only going to count my revenue. I am not going to count my expenses, and I'm going to say that that's what I'm worth. It's comical. It's comical. This is all a house of cards. He doesn't have any of this money, okay? So it's not that he's insolvent, which although he keeps taking out debts, and the article also explained that as well. If you have so much money, why do you keep putting yourself further in debt? Now, there's some legitimate business reasons you might do that. Hey, I'm going to start a building, so I need some debt on the construction, but he doesn't do very much construction. And he's actually cash poor, as you'll see in a second, too. So the whole thing's a house of mirrors and a house of cards and all the different houses, other houses that are tricks and are about to collapse. Supposed billionaire Donald Trump ain't anywhere near 10 billion. I don't think he's near 1 billion. Okay, all right. So they go on to explain a big chunk of Trump's net worth figure comes from high valuations he bestows on his golf course properties. Trump values 9 of his golf properties at over $50 million for a total of at least $450 million. He values at least 4 at up to $25 million and a fifth up to $50 million. But golf course valuation experts say there is nothing in the report to support these lofty figures. Now, the Politico article goes on to explain that those somewhat comparable golf courses could go to $5, maybe even $10 million. In fact, you're going to see here even Donald Trump plays with the valuations of those. But wait, let me get this right. A lot of your money is in golf courses? Dude, you ain't getting to 10 billion with golf courses. You're not even going to get to $1 billion with golf courses, no matter how much you inflate them. Now, even Trump knows he's inflating them because get a load of this. On his disclosure report, Trump lists the Trump National Golf Club in Westchester Country, New York, as worth over $50 million, but ABC News and The Guardian newspaper reported earlier this month that for tax purposes, Trump's attorneys at first argued the property was worth just $1.35 million before increasing the figure to $9 million. So, classic Trump game here. Oh, I'm super rich. Yeah, that's property's worth $50 million. All right, great. Give me taxes based on $50 million. Oh, no. It ain't worth anything, man. It's only worth $1.35 million. He gets embarrassed by that, and now he's running for office, and then he goes, okay, $9 million. We'll call it $9 million. So which one is it, Donald? Okay, the idea that these are all worth $50 million for golf courses, even at the high-end, luxurious golf courses, etc., not remotely true. None of this is true. He's not a billionaire. He's not. He's just, the reason he puffs himself up like this is because he makes a lot of money from selling his name. He has to get you to believe that he's rich so that he can be rich. That's the whole trick. So that's why he constantly lies about his wealth. The reality is he is a terrible businessman. He's down to running a bunch of golf courses. Really almost builds nothing beyond that, and just sells his name. And all of these reports of billions of dollars are all based on Donald Trump reporting himself. Okay, now let's get to some of these hedge fund managers that were quoted in the piece. One of them says, I know Donald. I've known him a long time, and it gets under his skin if you start writing about the reasons he won't disclose his returns. You would see that he doesn't have the money that he claims to have, and he's not paying much of anything in taxes. Now, seems very obvious. And look, I told you this months ago, partly because I know some people who work in Wall Street, and I know others who have made deals with Donald Trump and live to regret it because he went belly up and was a deadbeat, wouldn't pay them. And so the word on the street, on Wall Street, on Donald Trump is loser. Loser. Doesn't really have anything along the lines he claims to have. Another anonymous individual from the financial industry says, if he's swimming in so much cash for all his holdings, why is he selling this stuff to raise cash? Recently had to sell things to come up with a $7 million. You're telling me you have $10 billion, but you couldn't find a couple of $1 million to run a campaign or do something else that you needed to do? Now, I know not all the money is going to be liquid. I understand that. But for someone who's a billionaire, $7 million is lying around on your couch. Right? Meanwhile, he's frantically selling things to try to get the $7 million. Keep it real. Finally, we do have one actually legitimate estimate as to his wealth. Let's find out what happened there. Well, as they explain, estimates of Trump's net worth range from a low of $150 million to $250 million, asserted by journalist Timothy O'Brien in a 2005 book, that earned him a libel lawsuit from Trump that was eventually dismissed. O'Brien saw Trump's tax returns as part of the discovery in that suit, but the records were sealed by the court, and O'Brien is not allowed to discuss them in any detail. So now that was from a decade ago, but the charges were dismissed, the civil ones, right? And of course, just sealed statements. He actually saw my tax returns. Under no situation can he talk about my tax returns. As we'd find out, you're nowhere near $1 billion. The more you find out about Donald Trump, the more you realize what a loser he is. He's not winning anymore. His finances are a mess. He's not winning with them. Everyone going forward, by the way, based on evidence and facts, it's not like he has ever proven that he's even a billionaire. So if you're a real journalist, you should take that into account and give him the title that he deserves. Supposed billionaire Donald Trump. If you want to be even kinder, you could say self-described billionaire Donald Trump, because that is literal. No one has ever seen assets of Donald Trump provable in a tax return where it's over $1 billion. Poor guy. Only a millionaire. Only Donald Trump would cry about that. But it goes towards the mirage that he has set up here.